2021 is our focus for this human and social biology paper. It is the multiple choice paper, which is also known as paper 1, and candidates are given an hour and 15 minutes to do this paper. So you have the customary instructions. At the start of the paper, there are 60 items or 60 questions, and you are to select the best answer as your choice. And to make that selection, you have to shade the corresponding answer in your answer sheet. You are encouraged to subscribe to the channel. There are more videos to come, and you want to be in a position to know when they come out. So click that notification bell so you will be notified. So let's get into question 1, which asks, plants obtain nitrates by absorbing nitrates through their roots. So C is the answer. Which of the following features is not common to all living things? And we always like to highlight those capitalized words. So in question 2, it is the word not, and we are going with B. Producing identical cells in reproduction. Every organism does not do this, so it's not common to all. In which of the following structures does photosynthesis occur? Chloroplast. It contains the pigment chlorophyll in order to trap sunlight. Question 4. During osmosis, movement of water molecules through the semi-permeable membrane continues until when? Amount of water molecules is equalized on both sides? No. Hydrostatic pressure equals the osmotic pressure. Yes, but let's continue reading on. Osmotic pressure equals the osmotic potential. No. Turgidity and flaccidity are equal. So the best answer is B. Question 5 refers to the following diagram, which represents an animal cell, and the X is pointing to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. The structure labeled X is involved. They're asking you the function of the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and it is involved in the production of proteins. Question 5 brought an end to section A questions, and question 6 introduces section B, life processes, and it begins and follows the order of nutrition, respiration, circulation, musculoskeletal, excretion and homeostasis, coordination and control with the nervous system, and reproduction. So let's do question 6, which kicks off with nutrition. Which of the following food groups do oats belong? And we know that is staples. Which of the following statements is not true of anemia? Not the capitalized word. It is caused by the presence of an extra chromosome. And we know this is not true. This question is in the nutrition aspect of life processes. So we expect them to be talking about nutrition. So the mere fact that they are talking about some genetic something, which is incorrect, by the way, makes this the answer. Question 8. Which of the following graph best represents the effect of pH on the activity of the enzyme salivary amylase in the digestive process? Salivary amylase is the enzyme found in saliva in the mouth. It breaks down starch. So we are looking, considering it's in the mouth, we are looking for something which is just over the neutral pH, which if we take a straight line, it should be around here. So this curve is slightly just about there. So we will pick C as the answer. Item 9 refers to the following diagram, which shows the internal structure of the tooth. The layer of the tooth, which is harder than bone, is labeled 1 because that is enamel. One function of dietary fiber is to do what? It's to increase the rate at which food moves through the alimentary canal. Question 11. Kwashiorkor is a deficiency disease caused by lack of protein. One of CXC's more popular questions. It would be wise to learn that question. Question 12. The formula for determining body mass index, BMI, is weight over height squared. So we're just looking for that formula, and we see it as C. Which of the following is not a fat-soluble vitamin? We know that vitamin B and vitamin C are water-soluble, and they have vitamin C. So it means that is not a fat-soluble vitamin. 14, the process of digestion is defined as the removal of undigested waste. D. Climbing up a mountain, a group of hikers find that breathing becomes difficult. This is most likely because, and question 15 identifies that we are in respiration. So what's the reason breathing became difficult? It's because there's less oxygen in the air the higher up they go. B. Which of the following reagents is used to test for glucose? And glucose is a reducing sugar, which uses Benedict's solution. Which of the following structures is not a part of the respiratory system? The esophagus, and straight away we see that as the answer. The esophagus is part of the digestive system. Question 18. During respiration, the release of energy in a cell occurs when ATP, adenosine triphosphate, is converted to adenosine diphosphate. So ATP to ADP. Which of the following substances found in cigarette smoke is addictive? Nicotine, very popular addictive substance. Capillaries have very thin walls which have only one layer of cells. This is to allow rapid diffusion of gases and glucose. That makes perfect sense. Proteins and fat does not make sense because we're not too sure why proteins and fats are floating around in your bloodstream, at least in this state. It should be maybe in amino acids or fatty acids, but not as proteins and fats, except if they're meaning proteins as something else, but they didn't say that. So A is the correct answer. Coronary thrombosis, question 21, occurs when the valves in the heart stop working, there's too much blood flowing through the heart. The coronary artery becomes blocked with a blood clot. The coronary vein becomes blocked with a blood clot. C being the best answer here. Which of the following best describes the function of the pacemaker? That is where you get initializing of your heartbeat. It increases it, it decreases it, it regulates it. So regulates is the best answer. Notice these answers are correct. That's why the question identifies best as being the capitalized word. Item 23 refers to the following incomplete table, which shows blood vessels and organs they supply. The lungs being supplied by the pulmonary artery, the hepatic artery goes to the liver, the intestines are supplied by the mesenteric artery, and the renal artery goes to the kidneys. And the one that corresponds to that is C. Blood pressure is highest in the arteries, like your aorta, that's artery, and the blood pressure is highest there. Item 25 refers to the following diagram, part of a human skeleton. We see X identifying the femur. Y, if we pay attention carefully, we notice it is going to the thicker of the two bones. It is going, and Z is going to the thinner bone on the outside. So the order would be XYZ, making it the femur for X, the tibia for Y, and Z being the fibula. So that makes B our answer. Which group best represents the location of a ball and socket, hinge, and fixed joint? The ball and socket, we need a shoulder or a hip, and they have shoulder right here, and all the others do not. So this automatically becomes the correct answer. 27. Muscles that oppose each other to produce movement are described as antagonistic. C. A small volume of urine will most likely be produced after excessive exercise. Liam notices that his face is flush red after playing a football. Which of the following processes causes his face to be flushed? And that's because of vasodilation. His blood vessels are closer to the skin. They have brought blood along with them. So you're able to see some of the redness from the blood because the blood is trying to lose some of the heat by being closer to the skin. Evaporation helps to lose the heat. So vasodilation is the name of that process. Which of the following joints allows movement in all directions? We kind of had that hinted to us in this question, and the questions line up next to each other. So we know that shoulder is the correct answer. Which of the following describes hemostasis? Hemostasis is maintaining the internal environment, and maintaining it means A is our answer of choice. 32 refers to the following diagram showing some of the organs, the body. They have kind of darkened some of the organs, the thyroid gland, the pancreas. These two on top of the kidneys are the adrenal glands, and we have what appears to be the ovaries right down here. And they label S and ask what hormone is secreted by the organ. Label S, the pancreas, and we are choosing insulin. Which part of the brain is responsible for conscious thought? And we could have answered this even without the diagram, and we know it is the cerebrum. Which of the following hormones is responsible for causing the liver to convert excess sugar to glycogen? That's insulin, and it's from the pancreas. So we have these two questions relating to each other. Item 35 refers to the following diagram, which illustrates a nerve cell conducting an impulse from the sense organ to the central nervous system. The cell above is known as a sensory neuron. They told us it was from a sense organ, and we actually know the sense organ, the skin. So it is touch. All right. When viewing a distant object, the ciliary muscles do what? In order, if the object is at a distance, means you're looking at an object far away. So the ciliary muscles relax and the lens flattens. Right? The lens flattens to be able to adjust the bending of the light. Images in the eye are formed on the retina. At least that's where they are supposed to be formed, on the retina. Question 38 refers to the following diagram, which shows the human spermatozoa. Which of the labeled parts above contains mitochondria? And we know mitochondria deals with the production of energy in order for movement. Like so, the sperm, this tail needs to whip back and forth in order for the sperm to swim. So these little balls labeled B would be the mitochondria. Which of the following birth control methods is considered to be the least effective or least reliable? The rhythmic method, or the rhythm, or the natural method is the least reliable. Which of the following methods of contraception functions by preventing sperm from entering the uterus? That's a barrier. Implantation occurs when fertilized ovum become embedded in the uterus walls. Item 42 refers to the following illustration of genetic engineering that is used to produce a useful protein. We have a plant that produces a tiny amount of a useful protein. The DNA is extracted and placed into a bacteria. The bacteria is multiplied in large number and the protein is extracted in large amounts. They ask, what is a possible disadvantage of producing useful proteins in this way? Production of proteins is inexpensive. That's an advantage. A large amounts of protein can be produced. Again, an advantage. Production of protein is very rapid as bacteria multiply. Again, another advantage. Use of bacteria in this process can be hazardous to health. Ooh, that's a disadvantage. So D is the answer. We have a diagram that shows a process that occurs in humans. We have DNA replication occurring from the cell that ends with 2 diploid cells. The process illustrated above is mitosis. Those 2 identical daughter cells, just looking exactly like the first, indicates mitosis. Question 44. Which of the following occurs when a zygote receives 1 extra chromosome that is a chromosomal mutation? Item 45 refers to the following genetic cross, which shows the inheritance of blood groups in humans. Alleles A and B are codominant to each other, and both are dominant to O. Which of the following offspring inherited the homozygous recessive allele? Now all you have to do is follow the O cross, which runs here. N. N will be our answer. Which of the following measures should an individual adopt to manage diabetes mellitus? Increase the carbohydrate intake. That's the opposite of what it should do, so that's wrong. Adopt an active lifestyle, yes. Lose weight, yes. So 2 and 3, making C the answer. Which of the following types of immunity occurs when a baby receives antibodies from its mother before birth? The baby is just receiving it. That's a passive activity. And the mother has the antibodies, which is a natural thing. So we are looking for natural, passive, B. Sickle cell anemia is classified as an inherited disorder. 49. Which of the following organisms is a causative agent for cholera? And we know that Vibrio cholera is bacterial. 50. Which of the following statements about herpes is true? Herpes is caused by a bacterium. They're asking for which one is true. Herpes is caused by a virus, so that is not true. Herpes does not affect fertility. It's actually a STD, so it does. There's no cure for herpes. Oh, that's true. A newborn child of a herpes sufferer cannot be infected. That is not true. So C is the answer. We have the stages in the life cycle of a mosquito present before us in this diagram. Which of the following stages are found in or on water? That will be the eggs, the larvae, and the pupae. So 2, 3, and 4 only. D is the answer. What is the effect of carbon monoxide on the human body? And all these could be correct, possibly, but you want the best answer, and prevents oxygen uptake by blood because carbon monoxide irreversibly binds to red blood cell. So A is the best answer. Beriberi is an example of a disease that is classified as a deficiency disease. A lack of vitamin B causes beriberi. Antiretroviral drugs are used to do what? They are very popular for the treatment and control of HIV/AIDS. So we see it here. 55, which of the following methods are effective in controlling pollution? The recycling of waste material, yes. The cleaning of rivers and streams, yes. The use of nuclear energy sources, yes. We are talking about an alternative to the older styles, coal energy generation, yes. So 1, 2, and 3. You could let us know any comments if you agreed with the reasoning for this answer. It provided quite a bit of trouble for students who did this exam. Item 56. Chlorine bleach can be added to drinking water to do what? Destroy microorganisms. Which of the following gases is produced in a landfill site? And that would be methane. 58 refers to the following diagram of a water cycle. A bit of a confusing diagram, but just take your time to answer. We see water vapor being condensed to make rainfall. We see the rainfall hitting the soil, and we see the soil going up to the plants, which means plants have taken up water. And then we see the plants putting out water back into the atmosphere. And the transpiration is represented by plants do transpiration and the water goes up into the atmosphere. Transpiration is the loss of water from plants, which is 2. That corresponds with B. Which of the following is an example of a non-biodegradable pollutant? That would have to be lead. Paper, cotton, and sewage can all be broken down by living organisms. Contamination of water sources is detrimental to humans because of the spread of waterborne diseases such as cholera. That completes the 60 questions for this paper 1 for the year June 2021. Do remember to subscribe and look out for more videos to come.